Hello and welcome to the brand new Me Journey series. We are here with Ava Laura today. And before we delve into the wonderful information that Ava Laura is going to share with us on the topic of Heart's First Steps, let me first give you a quick introduction of myself. My name is Shantae Thompson. I am a licensed mental health counselor. I am also a Florida Supreme Court certified family mediator. Today, I am your host for Brand New Me Journey. And really, what Brand New Me Journey is all about, it's about helping women and individuals heal from past hurt, from significant breakups. And along the journey, we have the beginning, middle, and end stages of our journey. And it's a lifelong journey. So we're having different experts come in to share their expertise to help us all along to move forward and grow into our best selves. So today we do have Ava Laura, and we are going to have her do a little bit of an introduction of herself. So Ava Laura, can you tell us a little about yourself, please?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it and really excited to talk about this topic because that is what I do. Healing is what I do all day long. So really excited to be here. So just a little bit about me. I'm a actual a life coach and intuitive consultant. And I have been in this field now for, gosh, I don't know, 15, 16 years now. My background is actually in mental health.
Okay.
Similar to you, in social work and counseling. And I actually studied psychology and social work at Howard University. And went on, got my master's degree and was really excited because I've always been a healer. I always knew that I wanted to help people. I always did it as a child, even though, it's just one of those things that you do, just always giving advice and always just trying to help people. And I just want to see people win. And, I just want the best for everybody. So when it came time to choose, a major and what I wanted to do with my life naturally was, I want to counsel people. I want to help people. So I was really excited and, went and got all my degrees and all of that and came out of with my master's in social work and found myself in the mental health field and just found that I was not really able to help people the way that I thought that I could or the way that I wanted to. I was very restricted by the system. And I felt like instead of helping people to heal and to grow and to change and, all these wonderful things that we're talking about, I was really just helping people to maintain their dysfunction. And, I got tired. I got depressed. I was just feeling really miserable. Like, why am I here? What am I doing with my life? Like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I worked so hard for. This is what I was supposed to do. I did everything that everybody told me to do, and I'm not happy.
Right.
That's essentially what happened. And so I, basically got to the point where actually a lot of my clients are, and I'm sure, people that we're talking to today, where I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Exactly.
I knew I had to change, but I didn't know what to do. It's funny, right? I'm in the mental health field. I'm helping people. I knew I needed to make a change, but I had no idea what to do. It was like,
that happens to so many of us.
Yes. It was like, well, everybody's like, Ava Laura, why are you complaining? You're successful. You got your house. You got your car. You're married. You got this great job. You're making good money. Like, why are you complaining?
Right.
But I was so miserable. I was so miserable. And so actually what ended up happening is I just got to a point where I was like, yeah, I got to change something. And I ended up going on this women's retreat. I ended up going on this women's retreat that my friend invited me to. Had no idea what to expect, but I just needed a break. Like I need a vacation from my life. I needed a break.
Yeah.
And, I found when I was at that retreat, I realized just how out of balance with myself I really was and out of harmony because I had not taken that moment to just kind of breathe and just be. And I realized just how unhappy I really was because I'm at this retreat and I got back to doing the soulful self-care, as I call it, just meditating and doing yoga and praying and just communing with like minds and just spending time in nature and just enjoying myself. And I'm just realizing like I have really been miserable. Like I'm so out of whack right now. And So I ended up having this emotional breakdown, like literally, like in the middle of this retreat. I just found myself on my hands and knees crying out to God, like, I can't live like this. This is not living. Like, this is just, this is not what I signed up for. I can't do this anymore.
Exactly.
So you just got to get me out. Like, I don't know what to do, but I this got to change. You got to get me up out of here. Like, it was just, boo-hoo, ugly cry, everything. I went through it. And obviously I felt better after that. That was healing, right? That was good. That was that release. And then I realized, like, oh, shoot, I got to go back to work on Monday. I was like, oh no. And that's what I did. So the retreat was awesome. It was wonderful. It was that nice break. It was that wake up call that I needed.
Yes.
And I got back to work, and for all intents and purposes, a normal regular day. And my boss calls me into his office at the end of the day. He says, Ava Laura, you're great, you're wonderful, but I gotta let you go.
Look at God. Look at God.
Needless to say, Ego was having a little bit of a fit there. Like, well, hold on, wait, what? Because I had never been fired from anything in my life. Classic overachiever, perfectionist, graduated magna cum laude, 1 A short away from summa. Like, so getting fired was like, hold on, wait a minute. That was a serious blow to my ego. But then Spirit really kicked in and said, Ava Laura, why are you upset? Why are you complaining? This is what you prayed for. So what are you going to do about it?
Amen.
What are you going to do? And that became my journey. Like, what am I going to do? Right? Am I going to just go back into, the social work field? Am I going to take the blue pill, take that safe route, just, go back and know that I'm not going to be fulfilled, right? Because it's going to be the same old, same old. So am I going to do that, or am I going to go venture into the path of the unknown, take this faith walk, take that red pill and just, deep dive into my purpose, whatever that might be. And that's what I decided to do. I took that red pill. I took the path into the unknown.
Wonderful.
And, hardest, best thing I've ever done. Right. But it was a beautiful thing in that I took what I call my 6-month healing sabbatical. And this is why I'm so passionate about healing. I took my 6-month healing sabbatical, and I really did the work. Who am I? Why am I here? Did the coaching, did the counseling, got the Reiki training, all the certifications and everything that I do now, the hypnosis, the aromatherapy, dream interpretation, yoga, all those things, right? I took time out to do that and really delve into me. And after that 6 months, I opened up Ava Laura's Healing Center.
Amen.
So it was really a beautiful journey. And this is now this was in November of 2005. So almost 13 years ago now. And so I have been helping people, much like me, in different areas of their life, really actually heal, whether it's through their relationships, through their careers, through themselves personally, just not knowing who they are or feeling like they've achieved some level of success, but they're not happy. It's not what it looked like or what they wanted it to look like, healing from heartbreak, like we're talking about, relationships, all these different things, but helping them through that process and that journey, and understanding that wherever you are right now, no matter how bad it is, no matter what it looks like, no matter how it seems, you can get through it and you can get to where you want to be.
For sure. Yes, there's light at the end of that tunnel.
Always. If you do the work.
You have to do the work. You have to apply what you learn, right? So that is ultimately the vital, important part of it all. Okay.
Absolutely.
So as we're talking today about heart's first steps, right, and healing, my first question to you: what is important to take? Why is it important to take the steps to heal after a breakup?
Yeah. This is so important because, for the ladies who know one of my favorite artists, Miss Erykah Badu. Remember that song, Bag Lady?
Yes.
Yeah. What you don't want to do is bring your current baggage from old relationships into a new relationship. That's number one. So you don't want to bring your stuff. Maybe you had daddy issues. Maybe you have trust issues. Maybe you've had past hurts and traumas, that are really influencing, getting in the way of you having the healthy relationships that you want. Maybe you're attracting toxic men, and toxic energy, right? All of these different things. And so you need to give yourself a chance to reset, reboot, right? Change the script. Because there's something going on that's not working for you, and we need that reset period.
Definitely.
And so it's important to do that healing process, because you don't want to go from one experience right into the next, carrying all that stuff, attracting the same energy, and wondering like, why can't I ever have a healthy relationship? How come it's never working out for me? Because have you ever taken the time to really heal and assess and look at what is it that you're doing? What is it that you're doing? What is it that you're attracting? Why is this happening? And how can we change it?
So you just made some great points, and I love those last tips that you just gave. But then my question to you is, how can you figure out for yourself if you are the one that's attracting the toxic relationships, or if you do have daddy issues? Like, how do you really figure all of that out to be able to heal and move forward?
Good question. You can't. You cannot do it alone.
Okay.
And I think it's important to accept that fact, because I think most people feel like they can. There's this sort of misnomer about heal yourself. And what I tell people is that, yes, it is my responsibility to heal myself. It is your responsibility to heal yourself. But healing yourself does not mean that you don't get help.
Thank you.
It means that you take personal responsibility for who you are, what you're bringing to the table, how you are, like we say, what's the energy that you're bringing into the space. You take responsibility for all of that, and you take responsibility to do the work to change it.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you're doing it on your own, because the truth of the fact is, if you're doing it on your own, you're not really healing everything. You're getting to the surface stuff, but you're not going to get to the deep, gritty stuff that you can't see, don't want to see, too painful to see. You're not going to take yourself there. You can't.
Right.
You can't see everything. So you need help. That doesn't mean that you can't start doing things for your own. You can't start reading books. You can't start going to workshops or going to retreats like I did. Like, my retreat was a wake-up call for me. But eventually, after that wake-up call, I had to do some work.
Okay.
And I got help.
Was that with a therapist? Was that with a life coach? Was that?
I did everything.
Okay.
I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And that's why, I really believe in a very holistic approach. That is my practice. I am not one size fits all cookie cutter, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
And the thing that I've learned is that what's going to work for me is not necessarily going to work for you.
Right.
So I did it all.
Okay, well, I love that you started to tell us a bit about the books and going on retreats and getting therapy, getting a life coach. Are there any other ideas or tips that you can give to help people start this whole healing journey and
Absolutely
journey?
Absolutely. The first thing, and I always say this, and it's so like, oh, duh, but it's not. It's really important. The first thing, so I have, what I call it, the AAA, which is the 3 steps to healing. And the very first step that everybody has to get to is acceptance. You have to accept your situation for what it is, not what you want it to be, not what you thought it was going to be, not what your mama told you it was going to be, or, how, well, my friend over here has it like this. My situation is supposed to be the same as that. We did the same exact things.
Right.
No. You have to accept your situation for exactly what it is. Doesn't mean you got to like it. Acceptance doesn't mean that you like it. It simply means that you take ownership and you understand this is where I am. So I'll go back to my situation. I was in a job that I hated. Yeah. Now, I did the work. I did everything that everybody told me to do. I got my degrees. I got the job. I was making good money. I did everything, but I was not happy. Life sucked. That was acceptance. So once I got to that point, that was the motivation to say, I got to make a change. Something has got to give. Yeah. That acceptance sparked the motivation to change.
Okay.
Most people don't we want to skip that step because it's painful.
Right.
Because that's really like, oh no, I don't want to accept that this is my life right now. I want to skip over this. So, let me just pretend that this doesn't exist. Let me just go out and, emotionally eat, drink, go on vacation, just try to avoid that this is what's happening in my life right now.
Right. Right. Okay. So your 3 A's were acceptance.
So the first one is acceptance.
Uh-huh.
Second one is ask. And so that's what I said. You got to ask for the help.
Okay.
And so when we get to the point of, okay, I've accepted this is my situation. So you know what? I'm hurting. I had this horrible breakup.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts like hell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do. Now you got to reach out and ask for some help.
Yeah.
Most of us kind of get stuck right there. Like, this is
Many
just painful.
people get stuck right there. Many people don't like to ask for help. It's a challenge for so many individuals to really acknowledge that they need help or even accept help. So I love that that's a part of your 3 A's.
Especially like we say, there's this whole movement now about check on your strong friends, right? And that's a lot of it. Like when you're the strong one, and most of my clients are the strong ones. They're very type A, very successful, go-getters, pretty much have everything that they want. And so when there's an area of their life that is like, yo, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I thought. It gets very difficult to, really be vulnerable. Right. And say, I need help. This is not right. This is not what I wanted. And I need help. I need to go somewhere. And a lot of it is trust issues. When you get to a certain level of your life, particularly, like I've worked with people who are celebrities, when you have some sort of, you may not be a celebrity, but some leadership status or something that, people look up to you. Right. When that happens, it's very difficult to be vulnerable and humble yourself and say, I need help. And then is when you do get to that point, well, who do I go to? Because I can't trust everybody, because I don't want somebody taking my information or my vulnerability and using it against me.
That's powerful.
So go through all of these different things, but that doesn't mean that you stop searching and looking, because somebody is out there just for you.
Exactly.
Somebody is out there.
Very true. Very, very true. Okay, so we have to the first A is
acceptance.
The second A.
Then we ask.
And the third A.
Well, then what we gotta do, what nobody wants to do, is you got to take action. You gotta actually implement something. You gotta do something. You can't just read. You can't just go on a retreat. You can't just talk to your girlfriends. You actually now have to do something. You have to take inspired action. And and this is what I tell my clients. If I say Oprah or Bill Gates, Martin Luther King, Obama, if I say these people, do you know who they are?
Yes.
Absolutely. Like, you know who they are. And the reason you know who they are is because they took action.
Yeah.
They do something. Right? They just don't have these bright ideas in their head and say, oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to do that. No, they actually have a bright idea and take the steps to implement it.
Exactly.
And that's why you know who they are.
Right.
You got to take action.
Okay.
That's the only way you're going to heal. That's the only way things are going to shift and change. You got to take that action.
And that is a great first steps to be able to start the heal is yes, definitely you have to accept that there's a problem, then go through the whole process of asking for help, and then start to execute, but put some action to everything that you're learning. I love it. Thank you, Ava Laura. I love that.
Welcome.
All right. So now that the work is done, right? You started to do the work on self. You started to apply everything. You want to get out there and, not be by yourself. So you want some companionship. When is the right time to actually start dating?
The right time is when you are not still stuck in what happened to you in the past, what happened in your previous relationships. You're not comparing this man or that person to your significant other, that's the right time. I'll give you an example. So I'm recently divorced. And I was married 14 years. And so that's a, kind of a long time. Now, I pretty much started dating immediately because within that time frame, I was like over ready to get out. So by the time I was out, I was ready.
Right, because during your marriage, you started to go through the
Yes,
whole healing process.
exactly. I started doing it within the marriage, exactly.
Okay.
And one of the things that I realized, and this just happened to me because my anniversary, this would have been my 16th anniversary, was actually a few days ago, and I realized that I completely forgot that that was my anniversary.
Yes.
And the only reason that I remembered, y'all like, well, how'd you know? The only reason that I remembered is because, Facebook has those old memories. And so it started coming up like the old anniversary messages and the pictures. And I was like, oh my God, it's my anniversary. I totally forgot. Now I was married 14 years.
Yes.
So it's like, how do you forget that? But so when something like that happens, you are ready. You're over it. You're good. You have healed. You're ready to start anew.
Okay. So what are the benefits to waiting to date?
Yeah. So I just put this status up on Facebook. Well, not a status, but it was like a video. And it was sort of a satire comedy, but very true about dating now in 2018 and dealing with certain personalities and dealing with these men who just should not be dating. And so it sparked a whole conversation with my friends on Facebook. And one of the things that I said is that you can't heal and date at the same time. And the reason is because what happens is, again, just kind of like all your baggage, you literally cannot attract a person to you who you want. Because you're in two different zip codes. Like, how am I saying, oh, I want somebody who's successful and smart and creative and spiritual and whatever it is, and it works out, and I don't work out. Right? Like, how am I going to attract that to me? So the benefit of waiting is that you take that time to really get to know yourself, to really get to know what you want. Like, I'll use myself as an example again. When I got married, I was in my 20s. I was 26 when I got married. I didn't know who I was. I thought I knew who I was.
I thought I did too. I got married at 22.
But I didn't know. And so now in my 40s, like, I had to take that time. Like, well, dang, who am I? What do I want now? Because the things that I wanted then that were important to me in a relationship then are not what's important to me now.
Right.
So that was a part of doing my healing work in terms of determining who I am, what's important to me, and what it is that I want in a relationship. So now I can attract that to me. Because when you're not clear, you're not going to get what you want.
You're not.
You're going to complain and say, why isn't this working? Because you're not clear. I ask people, so what do you want? Well, if you can't tell me what you want, how can you attract to you what you want?
So true. So true. So it really took some self-discovery. It
absolutely does.
Taking some time to really get to know yourself, because we can lose ourselves. One, we're young, like many individuals are young when they're getting married and they don't even understand what marriage truly entails, right?
That is true.
These long relationships, and you're losing yourself throughout the entire process. So now when you're out of the relationship and you're trying to take some steps to really acknowledge, all right, this took place, and who am I? What do I really want? Taking those moments to date yourself and to get out there and start to figure out your likes and your dislikes and your desires and why you dislike certain things and why you want certain things, your deal breakers, like all of these different things you have to start to learn for yourself. So when you do get out there and start to want to attract and build relationships, you know without a shadow of a doubt what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept.
And that takes time. And that's okay. That is okay. That takes time. Give yourself that time. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process.
Yes. Okay. So I love that. We are going to be intentional with self-discovery, taking the time to get to know ourselves before we jump into a relationship, right? Now, my question to you, and I know the viewers out there are wondering the same thing. So I'm doing the work to know myself, to heal, but I get lonely. I get bored. I want, so how can I fill up my time while I'm waiting to date? Then what
Hmm.
do I do in the meantime as well?
Yeah. So here's the thing, and listen, I'm in that space literally right now, so
Hmm.
I get it. I totally get it. Particularly like I said in my example, because not everybody's been married. You might just have a bad breakup with somebody, but
Right.
not necessarily have been married. But particularly in my example, where again, I was married for 14 years, so there's that built-in companionship. Right, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
dating. I'm not out there. Like I don't even know what's going on in that world right now. And I
Right.
have this companionship. So I'm not used to being alone because I haven't been for actually more than for 16 years because
Right.
that's how long we were together. So how do you then go from that to like now totally just by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's real. And I'm not going to say that it's easy, but what I am going to say is that if you're doing the healing work, it is absolutely doable. And actually, what happens is it really becomes a very beautiful process that you embrace because you enjoy getting to know you and spending time with you again and being very intentional about that process. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I would recommend is, play, have fun,
Yes.
do things that you've always wanted to do that you didn't do for whatever reasons you didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'll give you an example. I had been talking about, to my friends, learning to play golf for years. I don't even, maybe 5 years or so. And I just didn't do it. And not, not for any particular, just busy, just life, just whatever, just didn't do it. And so after, the divorce, and that's what it was. It was like I realized I had this time because I'm not in a relationship. Like, wow, I didn't realize how much time relationships take up. I
Yes.
had all this time that I didn't really know what to do with. And yes, I could put it into my work, and I'm an entrepreneur, so that's very easy to do. But
Mm-hmm.
that gets lonely and that gets boring after a while. Like, you just can't be delving yourself into your work all the time. You need a life,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So I said, you know what? I need to go and learn to play golf. Like, what am I doing? I need to go. And
Mm-hmm.
I did, got lessons and I play and I love it. And I've met so many people just from that one activity,
Look at that.
just from one activity. I've met so many people. Another thing, like years ago, I used to belly dance. I stopped for whatever reason. I just
Mm-hmm.
stopped. I started belly dancing again. Again, from that one activity, I've connected with so many people. I actually got more business from it.
Mm.
So it's important to just explore things and do things. You may not even like it. You may try something and you're like, yeah, I definitely don't like that. But do it anyway. Just explore different parts of your personality, different parts of your life. Just try different things.
Yes,
Have
I agree
fun.
with that wholeheartedly. I did the same thing after my divorce. I always said I wanted to learn how to play chess, and I taught myself to play
Mm,
to play chess, and I enjoyed that. And then I also started painting. So that's so
love it.
a therapeutic for me as well. So I totally agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Just start to think about things that you love doing long ago, and then things that you really just want to try to get into. And these are going to help you
Yeah.
to get to know yourself and what you like and what you enjoy and what you might not like, and say, okay, been there, done that, not doing that again, right? But either way, it's
And the cool
part
thing
of
is you meet
learning.
people through that process, so you could end up meeting your next love, right? Through
Very
one of those
true.
activities.
Yes, very
I've
true.
definitely met some cool people through golf. I mean, it's a man's sport. So.
Nice. Okay, so what's the danger in not waiting?
Yeah, the danger in not waiting is that
Mhm.
you find yourself in another bad relationship because you're lonely and you settle.
Okay, you
So
settle.
you don't get what you want, you don't get what you need, you simply settle because you don't want to be alone. You're trying to fill this void in your heart, and instead of feeling it through healing, you feel it through settling.
Yes. And
Never
ultimately,
want to do
you
that.
stay unhappy then. If you do something like that,
You
you are
become
going to stay
unhappy.
unhappy.
You waste however many much more time, months, years of your life, find
Mhm.
yourself still in the same situation, if not worse, because now you're more jaded. Because now this relationship thing just don't work.
It's just
There's
not
nobody out there
working.
for me. I just can't find. I literally had this. I had a woman I want to say she was in her 30s. She was like 35, 36. And she had not been in a long-term, healthy, committed relationship in years. And she came to me, she said, Ava Laura, I really don't think relationships are for me. I don't think I can be in a healthy relationship because it's just not working.
True. Hopeless.
And that's what happens. We become very jaded because we just haven't done the work to heal and assess and that self-discovery process that we talked about. And so you just feel like it's not for you. And it doesn't mean that it's not for you. It just means that your approach is not right. Your approach needs to be shifted. You need to change what you're doing, and you're going to get a different result.
So true. So with that, I'd like to add that it's important not to go into relationship to be completed, but you need to enter a relationship completed already so the other individual can complement you, not complete you. So fill your voids, get to know yourself, be the best self you can be so you can be complemented and not completed.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong in two broken people in a relationship trying to be whole. Two broken people do not make a whole.
Not at all. Not at all.
It does not work. You know, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. You got two halves. You're not. So you're absolutely right. You need to be whole and complete before you enter into that space. Now, here's what I want to say too. Because some people might say, well, Ava Laura, like that might take forever, right? How long is that going to take? And how long do I have to wait? And here's the thing. I'm not saying that you can't start dating through that process of at least working on yourself. You know, we're not perfect beings, right? We're never going to be perfect. Healing is a continuous journey.
Yes.
You know, so there's always going to be that step by step. Like I'm always healing. I'm always learning something about myself, and I'm always working on something about myself. But there gets to be a point where you feel healthy and whole enough that you can get out there and really start dating and exploring again. And you're not going to be wounded if a relationship doesn't work out or if you have a bad experience.
Exactly. Great.
You can take it in stride and use it as a learning experience and say, well, that didn't work. Let me try this over here.
Right. So important. I'm so happy that you added that because many individuals do start to feel like, all right, well, if this one's not going to work, then I'm so done. But you have to take the time to be ready. And when you're actually ready and you jump in and you start something, if it's not working, you're not hopeless. You're just like, all right, well, that one, let me try something different. So good stuff. All right, so we're getting towards the end of our wonderful candid interview conversation, and I wanted to ask you, what is the most important thing you have learned on your journey?
You know, I think one of the biggest things I've learned so much, but one of the biggest things that I've learned is not to judge myself. And you know, and again, I think that sometimes that, you know, that felt like, yeah, of course not, but we're very hard on ourselves. And again, especially like I said, most of my clients are definitely overachievers, perfectionists, type A, really go. You know, I see something I want, I go after it. So what happens is, it's like when something doesn't work out in our life, we feel like we failed.
Yes.
And it's not a failure. It really is truly a learning experience. And everything, you know, in order for something to work out, sometimes you have to fall down with it to perfect it and get it right. And so I learned not to be hard on myself, not to be judgmental. Like, here I am, a life coach and, you know, mental health counseling background, studied all these different healing modalities, and my marriage didn't work out. And who's going to want to come to me now for marriage counseling, right? Or relationship counseling, and my marriage failed.
Right.
You know, so we put all of those things on ourselves. But one of the things, of course, that I realized is like, duh, I'm better now because I've been through the whole life cycle of a relationship. I know what it's like, you know, to date. I know what it's like to be married. I know what it's like to be divorced. I know what it's like now to be out and be dating again. And soon, God willing, I will know what it's like to be remarried. Right? So I've been through the whole life cycle. So now when my clients come to me who are struggling with these bad breakups and who've been through divorce, I have a new lens that I can offer them because I've personally been through the process myself.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Alrighty, so how can our viewers find you?
You can find me everywhere. I am Googleicious. I am the only Ava Laura that I know of, that anybody else seems to know of. So
Okay.
uh, you literally type in AVALAURA, I will pop up.
Okay.
My website is avalaura.com. My social media handles all have my name, Ava Laura, in it. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. So
Okay.
just, find me, connect with me, talk to me. I'm approachable, I'll say hi. And if you realize that you're ready to heal, and and you want a comprehensive approach, you want a holistic approach, maybe you want to try some new healing modalities that you haven't tried before, contact me. Let's have a consultation. Let's talk. Let's see how we can work together, and let's see how you really can get your heart's desire, because it's totally possible. It is totally possible. You just got to do the work. That's it.
Yes. Well, it was lovely. Thank you so much. We had a wonderful discussion on Heart's First Steps. Definitely delving into what it looks like when we have to heal, what we need to do. We learned about the 3 A's that Ava Laura shared with us: the acceptance, the ask, and the action, which were super important. And we need to make sure that we are executing all of these things in our lives. And then we definitely went through when it came to dating again, and learning when is a good time to start dating. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming to Brand New Me Journey, Ava
Thank you for
Laura.
having
It's been
me.
a pleasure, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.
Awesome.